in politics, still selling people from, like, just the imperialists. They are just the imperialists in black skin. They sell to Arabia. Instead of creating opportunities for the people there in the land, they say, no, go to Germany. Go to America. We want to send you all out because of an agenda, a very nasty agenda that they have. But everything is moving towards the truth. This theory says, the theory of being one says, everything is in constant motion towards and from one. Towards and from one. So why we are seeing a lot of commotion in the world today is because every idea is moving towards one. So as ideas move closer together, guess what happens? What happens?
War.
There's war. Friction. It may look everything is like going to burst, but for those who know the truth, that is what is happening. And as they approach the truth, they start melting, because ideas have to die. They have to grow. And as they approach the truth now down here, they melt. And they cannot continue. They have to die. That is what the theory of being says. I love that theory. It is very hopeful. If you are watching this is very hopeful for you. Do not fear. When the globalists and the politicians who are bound out of the truth try to scare you, don't worry. Everything melts at the truth. Another problem we have in Kenya, we said problems we have in Kenya is democracy. We have problems of democracy, which is an illusion, really. It is an idea that is an illusion. We have slavery, which is still going on today. Unfortunately, even the people who are once slaves make other slaves because of the cycle of an idea. We also have Kenyans who slave others. They slave others in the country. Yeah. And even Kenyans who come abroad here, they still slave other Kenyans. Can you imagine? Yeah. Because of the Kenyan idea. It is an idea that is terrible. It is a bad idea. So, ideas have the power to keep the people or to keep humanity in a cycle. But the good thing is, I will draw it this way. Every idea as it cycles towards the truth. So as it cycles towards the truth, it melts away. Okay? We are on the topic of Kenya, guys, and I'm taking you through, I'm just introducing Kenya to the world. What the reality, what we say reality, is an idea that we've held on for very long. Democracy, slavery. Another one is poverty. People just think they are poor. People think they are poor. Can you imagine Kenyans think they are poor?
Yeah. Everywhere.
People think they are poor. Yeah. It is just an idea. This is just an idea brought about by the imperialists.
That is
Poverty. that you are poor. They take your resources and tell you are poor. They took all the gold and tell you, oh no, all the gold is ours. You are poor.
Or probably you're the one even who's digging the
And
gold.
probably, yeah, they're the ones digging the gold.
Yeah.
And they think they are poor. If you don't have gold, Kenya is a very blessed land. There are so many resources. And the greatest resource that we have is an idea. Let me ask you a question. When you wake up, what part of your body wakes up first?
I think it's my brain,
Exactly. And then what next?
my body.
And then your eyes.
Yeah.
Poverty is a sick mind. It needs to wake up from slumber and realize that reality is an idea that you hold on to. If you hold on to the idea that you are poor, you will remain poor. And this is a spell of the imperialists. Another one is debt. We have politicians or leaders whose ambition is to pay debt. How can the wealthiest people on earth have debt?
Yeah. It's a way of manipulation, and for you to stay poor, and you can't do anything. Like, they would come and say, we're gonna build all your roads,
Yes.
but you're in debt for the next 100 years.
And yet they are taking your resources.
Yeah, and then you can't even say like no to.
You
whatever
can't,
they-
you don't
yeah.
even have, because you are asleep.
Yeah.
Your mind is asleep. You think you are poor, that somebody can come and control you.
Powerless.
Debt. Recently, we had protests. And this is a cycle that continues in Kenya. Protests. Protests led by the youth. Protests have never stopped in Kenya. Some of the most deadly protests happen in Kenya. In fact, the other day, during the burial of one of the greatest men who I dedicate this lecture today to, Raila, these people, politicians, these guys killed some people because they have to do something called human sacrifice. They have to do it. They are blind. They have to do human. They are under the spell of the imperialists. The way the imperialists killed the Mau Mau and killed our forefathers, the same way these people do the same thing. During the protests, they killed young people. You heard of the protests in Kenya. They killed. These people thought it is better to make a human sacrifice so that it quells things. But they don't know the truth. The truth is powerful than any idea. So this has been going on for a long time in Kenya. But all ideas have to melt towards the truth. So in closing, that is just a basic overview of the theory of being and how it applies to Kenya. Remember, we say ideas are powerful, and ideas create, and ideas just don't create, but they create the reality. What you say is reality is an idea. And another thing that continues in Africa, in Kenya, I'll tell you, is religion. Kenya is, they say, is a very religious country. In fact, the president is very religious. He wants to build a temple in the State House. Can you imagine? He wants to build a church because he's very religious. But he's the same person overseeing human sacrifice. He's the same man overseeing human sacrifices. He's the same one exploiting resources. But because he's very religious, he cannot be touched.
It's a holy person.
Because he's very holy.
Yeah.
Let me do something here. If I was to draw this as holy, and this as a sinner, and this one as a rich, and this one as a poor, our president will be here, right here. One of the richest men in Kenya right now, very holy. Here.
Untouchable.
Very untouchable. Very holy, very rich. But the problem is, I'll tell you the problem. If you read the good book, it says it is harder for a rich man to enter heaven. It's like a camel passing through the eye of a needle. If you think you are very holy and rich, you don't know humility. You don't know the truth. The truth is here. Truth is there, where everything has to go back to. Everything has to go back to the truth. Okay? And I'll end this lecture today and just mention one man. Here, I drew him. This guy. This is dedicated to this man, Raila. Raila is a very powerful example of the man who knows the truth. Of a man who knows the truth. And why do I say that? Power. Weak. Rich. Poor. And truth is always at the center. Truth is neither rich or poor, powerful or weak. This man, can you imagine he won all the elections? This guy. He won all the elections and never got to be president. He always chose the center. He always chose the center. When even the people voted, said, now we will make you, we will swear you in. They took him and took him to a podium and said, now you are our president. He still took the center. And this man, even the religious people say he was very not religious, very bad man. He doesn't know God. Other people say he didn't know God. Can you imagine? And now there's one who knows God, who performs human sacrifices. This one knew the truth. He was not very well celebrated. He was a very divisive. People, if you thought of Raila, you would either like him or hate him. There are people who just didn't like him. He was not celebrated enough at all because he stood for the truth. And I'm saying this without fear. This marks this has marked a very powerful his death, not only for Kenya but for Africa. Marks a very powerful moment where the continent of Africa will have to rise again, where we say no to imperialism. We are saying no to imperialism so that Africa rises, so that we live in abundance like we ought to, so that we live in peace as we ought to. Okay? So, excuse this, guys. So that is Kenya for you. Kenya. And this lecture is dedicated to Raila. Thank you for being part of this class.
No, I love it. I'm learning a lot. Yeah.
I have enjoyed being with you, and nice meeting you. Likewise. And nice being with you guys there as well. See you in the next class. The next class, guys, shall be the theory of being, and we will focus on Africa. We will focus on Africa. That's the next topic. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.